Soju Bomb. Soju Bomb. Oh. Soju Bomb. Welcome back once again to yet to yet another Soju Bomb. Soju Bomb. And here we're going to, of course, I am Near and Dear, joined by the Yellow Dart, and we are here to talk about another comedy, another romantic, Korean romantic comedy called Marrying the Mafia.
This is definitely more on the guy side.
Well, I'd say more guy humor.
Especially compared to the Please Teach Me English is more on the girl side. But yeah, this one is probably my favorite so far, mainly because I'm a huge, I like comedies. They're my favorite. Yeah. Ajushi, okay, it's right up there with Ajushi, because that's like the opposite in the sense that that's the action flick I like, and this is the comedy I like.
We still have plenty of movies to go through, believe me.
Yay!
All right, so, how does this movie open?
It opens, the dude's, this random guy, obviously the main character, wakes up in his bed, he's rubbing his head, obviously had a few drinks, looking around, looks down on his feet, they're doing the whole rub together thing, and he's like, reaches down, starts scratching the one, he scratches it, and he's like, what the, keeps scratching it, and then it moves, he's like, what, that's not my foot, and then a girl sits up, scratches her foot, lays back down, and his eyes go big, he's like, what the crap? And then they look at each other, both scream, and say, who are you at the same time. They both hide under the covers, freak out. She kicks him in the chest. He falls off. He's like, oh, man. She realizes that she's not wearing any clothes. She slowly sneaks over, grabs her clothes, puts it back on. Then he grabs the blanket off her and hides behind it. And then she grabs it back. And they're trying to figure out what the heck just happened. They don't know what's going on.
So they're two complete strangers. They don't know each other. And it seems to imply that they may have gotten a little too tipsy last night. And this is definitely a problem for our protagonist, as he already has a girl.
Yeah, he does.
And it's also a problem for her because not only is she a virgin, but her father's kind of a big deal.
I don't know how to tell you this, but he's kind of a big deal.
They know him as JJJ 3J.
Mafia guy. He's a mafia boss.
He is a mafia boss.
So her first instinct was to jump out the window. He grabs her, pulls her back, and is like, whoa, what are you doing? So they finally settle things down at least a little bit. He is sure they didn't do anything. He is positive they didn't do anything. They're outside. She's wearing his clothes because the dress is torn.
Yes.
So that had a little comedic thing right there. But later, he's wearing the clothes. He gives him the business card, his business card. It's kind of a Korean custom thing here. It's a business card. Yeah. And she's like, why? I don't feel bad or whatever. I don't want it. He's like, no, you don't understand. I want my clothes back. And so he gives that guy. He's like, fine. He's like, now, give me yours just in case. So she's rifling through her purse. And his girl pulls up in the nice car and goes, looks up both. And he's like, whoa, this isn't what it looks like. She's like, here's the card. Take it. You said you wanted it. And he's like, well, I just figured you could, do better. And kind of, pulls away. And he's like, wait, this is not what it looks like. And, now the girl's offended by that comment. And...
well, so what does she do with that card? Who does she give it to?
She gives it to her brothers. 3 of them. So when he's back at work, does his presentation, he's feeling good, feeling happy, everyone's smiling, he's doing the nod thing.
I can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd understand if you saw the movie.
Anyways, the guy says, hey, there's someone up on the roof who wants to meet you. He's like, on the roof? So he goes up there, and there's 3 guys. Back's turned. He goes, you wanted to see me? All 3 of them turn around. Yeah, we did. Start wailing on him, saying things like, what's happening? Stop, what's going on? Please spare me. I did whatever it is, I'm sorry. Beating the crap out of him. And, they're making comments about killing him, but not, whipping out like knives and crap. He's like, wait, before you do anything, can you at least tell me why you're doing this? He's like, and the guy's like, okay, that's fair. He whips out this, cloth thing. He's just freaking out, thinking there's like a dagger head in there, and he opens it up. It's just a scroll. He points to it, top, and said, this be our father.
Okay, they speak in a kind of mobster-ish, like a Pusan mobster-ish accent for any of you guys seen like Chingo or anything like that throughout the entire movie. And so the subtitles decide to write it out as them talk like this about them families and the familias
And the father. My father. And instead of saying that, it's a dat. D-A-T.
Yes.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, and he points to the father, says the father, the 3 sons, introduces himself as the oldest, and his wife and kid, and then his 2 brothers, and then the sister. He's like, you recognize her? He goes, oh crap. He's like, I swear nothing happened. He's like, no, you don't understand. You're gonna do right by her, all right? You're gonna take responsibility for this. So later he meets up with the sister, or their sister, the girl he spent the night with, yelling at her for sicking her brothers on him, saying, it's gonna take me 4 weeks to recover from this. And she makes the joke that usually it takes 8 to 12 weeks. They must be losing it or something. He's like, oh great, lucky me. Well, so obviously he finds out that she's part of a mob family, which leads to a lot of hilarious things.
So he convinces her to get a test done to see whether or not they did anything, and it comes up negative. They didn't actually sleep together.
Well, they slept together, but nothing else.
And but that isn't enough to deter the family, is it?
Not even sort of. The father doesn't care, and he's like, it doesn't matter.
Well, with Tarantino back, they go to talk to the father in person, and when they show up there at the train station, they have these huge banners out, and they have like a marching band there, and all these people from the town together.
Family, welcome future brother-in-law and son-in-law, and kind of signs, and it's super funny. He kind of looks at her, and she's like, so on the way back, like, he's super smart. He's graduated from Seoul University,
which is one of the top, like the what they call the Sky, Seoul National, Korea, and Yonsei. I go to Korea, so it's kind of one of our rival schools.
Yes, and he's becoming a top lawyer person. He's super smart, and the one guy starts the youngest of the brothers starts disrespecting him just because he's supposed to be smart. Why do we have to be all and starts kissing his butt kind of thing. And then the sister stands up for him, yells at him, and says he's, his 3-year senior. I mean, he's 3 years older than him, and show a little respect. Yeah. So it was, a little interesting that she stood up for him, and she says, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "No, thanks." Yeah. So that's when they meet the father.
Yeah, boy.
And they give him
3J.
And then they, hand over the results, proving that they didn't do anything. She's still a virgin. And, he's like...
That's like, oh, yeah, she's a virgin. That means you want to marry even more, right? Let's go. Let's start this wedding plans.
Super just like pushing. Because they find out how super smart he is. And they want him to be part of the family. They want a little education in the family.
Yes.
So they really want this guy to marry her. Plus, he seems like a decent person.
Yeah.
So they think, all right, he's actually good. So maybe not good enough for the daughter, but better than most.
Yes.
So we'll accept this. And so they're really pushing for him to get married. And the father gets really pissed when he's implying that he doesn't want to. And so...
Oh, they pull out the mother card.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry, my dead wife. I tried to raise a good daughter that could find a great husband, but he doesn't want to.
And they all start crying, Mother. So on the way back to the train station, he's like, oh, I just want to say hi to a friend real quick. And he's like, well, remember the train schedule? Yeah, I promise it'll be quick. He runs in there, talks to a lawyer, and he's like, oh, no problem. We can blackmailing. We can stop this. So
who is he?
Who's blackmailing? He says the guy's name, and he goes, J.
And like
3J.
It's one of the things I'm not sure to say real well. And like when the guy's talking real normal and very polite and very intelligent, and the moment he starts talking about 3J, he starts talking to the same gangster accent.
Yeah, and he's like, there be a story about this guy. And they show the story about how he fought hundreds, thousands of...
Oh, yeah, like it starts out, he's like, he fought a dozen men. It shows like 12 guys, and there's like, but some say it was hundreds. It pulls out, there's like a whole...
They got torches and bats and crap.
He's like spinning in the air, like running on their heads.
The over-the-top fight thing. And he's beating the crap out of all of them. And the 3 sons are there going, yay, cheering them on. So... there's, so now he's even more terrified because now the lawyer won't even help him because who it is. So he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, the girlfriend, fiance, or whatever ends up meeting up with the girl, recognizing her and threatening her and all this stuff. And the girl snaps, and then is like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. My family is like that. If you don't want to end up dead, you better shut your mouth right now. And actually becoming tough and everything. It makes a comment that I was not interested in him at all. But now I'm going to work to get him, just to take him away from you, because he deserves a lot better than a cruelest girl like you.
She's an awful bee. Awful bee. Okay, awful. So before we start getting into the major spoiler territories, even though there's not much to spoil, we do this with every Soju Bomb, and a movie and game reviews as well. If you're interested in this movie, go check it out. You can find it on Amazon. It's actually, you can find it super cheap. The company who made it, ADV, has unfortunately gone out of business, but you can still find the movie around, used or whatever.
Somewhere.
Get it super, super cheap. The English subtitles are pretty good, except for they translate a lot of things that are sort of swear words. They translate them as kind of harsher swear words.
Yeah, the same swear word is used in the entire thing, and they'll translate as the F word one time as B word, D word, S word. I mean, they use all of them.
The movie is actually only rated 12 here in Korea, and the actual DVD, like the American ones, are only rated TV PG. So it almost seems like there was some kind of disconnect with,
Yeah. With the subtitles, I guess it pops up to PG-13, but,
Yeah.
I really don't expect anyone younger than a teenager to actually get most of the jokes anyway. It's true.
So A, did you like it?
Heck to the yeah.
Okay. B, would you recommend it?
Heck to the yeah.
And C, to whom?
Heck to the yeah. I mean, and honestly, anyone who enjoys like a romantic comedy, but more of a guy side of it, a lot of guy humor, super funny. I really liked it, so... Yeah, anyone who likes decent comedy.
Yeah, there you go. So we're going to move here into some spoiler territory. There was a particular scene that I'm sure both of us enjoyed quite a bit, where this is when he's still like not sure about the family, and he goes out drinking with some of his friends, and he wakes up and they're overcharging him a lot of money.
A lot of money.
So he says, "Oh, just let me make one phone call to the bank." But who does he call?
He calls his future brother-in-laws, who show up and beat the crap out of everyone there. And so he starts talking smack, saying, yeah, maybe next time you won't be so greedy and you actually, give them the bill that they actually, what they actually paid for, or actually bought and everything. Smacking them around. And his two friends are like, dude, hurry up. Dude, hurry up. The three tough guys, his brother-in-laws, already left. And they're like, come on, go. They're grabbing him and everything. He turns around and sees that. He's like, yeah. Smacks him one more time. Starts walking. And then just books it.
That was a good scene. I enjoyed that scene.
Yes. But because of that, they call their boss, which is the other mobster.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that JJJ defeated quite some time ago, back when the three brothers were young.
Yes. So he's, a little pissed off. Yeah. So their idea is they're going to go kidnap the daughter, which they do.
Yeah, they do.
And so the brothers, the three of them, plus the future brother-in-law, as they call him, the four of them show up to get her back. And so they start fight starts to break out. The three brothers are holding their own really well. They're beating the crap out of everyone. He's got a bat. He's walking around. He's charging the two that are holding her prisoner. She's all excited. A body falls in front of him. He goes, and runs away. And you're just like, oh, really, dude? And she's like, oh, wow, thanks. You find out he actually just goes around them so he can sneak up on them, where he hits the one in the face with a bat and then hits the other one on top of the head and saves her.
Smart man.
And grabs her and just bolts out of there. The three brothers see him and that he has her, and so they just finish it up and they leave. They were mighty impressed with the fact that he actually stood his ground and took out two guys.
This is the first scene where you start to think, he's starting to become part of the family.
Part of the family.
But things, they decide to escalate things. They want the relationship to become closer faster. So what do the brothers do?
They make a 3-course meal. It's super delicious and have it delivered to him.
Doshira. It's think of it as like the Korean version of bento, like from Japan. It's like the little like lunches that you make.
Yeah, okay. It's a lot of super good food. And so don't skip a meal. Smiley face, signed her, and then they buy a dog for her, and they give it his name. So when they're talking about it over dinner, because the dinner they're made to go out to, he makes a comment that he's not much of a breakfast guy, but because of her, he stopped skipping the meals. He's just like, have you been taking a cooking class? She's like, well, yeah, how'd you know? He's like, I can taste it. He's like, that would make sense if you ever had my food. So really confused. And then she makes a comment about how
the dog grinds its teeth.
Dog snores and grinds its teeth when it sleeps. And he's like, wait, because she calls the dog by the name that he thought he gave it, which is his name. So when she says, his name, snores, he goes, wait, what? I snore. Grinds his teeth. Oh, you must be talking about the one time I went out drinking with your brothers and I fell asleep. She's like, yeah?
They never did find out.
No, they were not on the same page at all.
Yes. And then a super Mission Impossible stunt gets pulled in the elevator.
They stop the elevator, turn off the lights. And then they release a snake into the elevator. Turn the lights back on. They see the snake, freak out, turn the elevator back on. It goes. He comes running out, freak out, screaming, pushing things, and just bolts. And she has the snake wrapped around her arm and with its head into her fingers. She's like, wait, come back, come back. Looks around, just shrugs, puts the snake down, and lets it go.
It's done all one shot, so you can see the snake slither away. So it was an actual snake. But okay, so this brings us all up. Of course, they're getting close. Things are getting good. So of course, something sad has to happen. He runs into somebody, an old flame, shall we say?
The old girl / fiance, whatever. The one that he catches cheating on her. Cheating on him. Sorry, excuse me. That sounds weird. Because the family set it up. They introduced her to a guy, but after one day, she went for it. So she's kind of a bee, anyways.
Yeah.
And so they take him out drinking to a certain spot on purpose, so he would see her cheating on him, which is why they grew apart, which is why he was actually starting to fall for the other girl. And she shows up completely drunk. Or is she? He says, no, look, I'm here with her now. Just you're gonna have to go. And she falls over, knocks a few things. He picks her up and he goes, well, take me home, please. So being the nice guy he is, he takes her home. And it's a trap. It's a trap. And she's like, we should start over, brand new and everything. He just, pushes her off. But because she was struggling, his phone falls out of his pocket. He's like, no, I'm gonna go get you something cold to drink. So he leaves. The phone rings, and it's the other girl, the Mafia daughter. And she picks it up and says, who's calling my boyfriend at this hour?
Bum, bum, bum.
And so she thinks that he went home with her, and
Okay, this leads us to the only scene in the movie I actually didn't like. It felt like there was a scene cut from the movie. So he chases after her, and it's her in a taxi, and him falling behind her, honking his horn, and it doesn't really end. It just sort of nothing gets resolved. It just goes black. And then they're at the wedding.
Yeah.
And you're like, I guess they made up.
I guess she caught her and explained everything. And I guess she believed him. Which she should.
It felt so weird. It felt like there was a scene there that they skipped.
Definitely a scene there that they skipped. But at the end, the wedding's happening. And the dude, the other mob boss, the bad one, shows up with all of his thugs. Start beating the crap out of everyone. The two brothers go down. Start beating up a bunch of guys. But then themselves get the crap beaten out of them because they're outnumbered. And so the older brother, the oldest, walks out there and sees his two brothers thrown on the ground all bloody and everything. He says, listen, this is my sister's wedding. Can you please forget this just one time? And the guy says, you can't do that, and kicks him in the face, just beating him up. The very, very end of the wedding, they come out, and the new brother, the new part of the family, sees that and runs out there real quick, and he picks him up, helps him up, what's going on. And so the movie literally ends with the entire family charging, half of them bloody, charging. It's like, time to fight for family, and they start charging the group. That's how it ends. So this big fight apparently happens.
Well, they kind of Tarantino it back. There's kind of an extended ending. They Tarantino it back. And so big spoilers ahead. How does the movie actually begin?
The three brothers orchestrated the entire thing. They roofied their sister and him.
They wanted the family to get out of illegal business, and they knew in order for that to happen, they had to hook up the family with someone who had a good, legitimate business going.
And who was just obviously really smart. And someone who they felt was worthy of the family and their sister. So, roofied them both, put them both in the same bed, and knowing that they were roofied, that nothing could actually happen. Yeah, that's it. And then so through the entire movie, as we said, they gave each other gifts claiming to be each other. So slow but slow, they were orchestrating the entire thing. They made him realize that the girl he was with was a total B, and that their sister was 10 times better.
In retrospect, it actually makes me like the brothers even more, even though they're already my favorite characters in the movie anyway.
They were super funny.
Yeah, good characters. Especially the one's got a tattoo of a robot on his arm. The robot's got a pretty funny story. If we ever when we go to the Yuxham building, we'll try to make a video there, and we'll explain the story behind that robot. But that's basically it. Do you have any closing thoughts, comments?
Super good movie. I really enjoyed it. It was really funny, and I liked that their father, the way they talk. I hope your first son is a masculine one.
I pray that your first child is a masculine child. We're gonna watch The Godfather. We need to make a video of The Godfather too. Now that might end up being like a 2-drink in or something.
All right.
Anyways, talk to you guys later. Love ya. Bye.
Could have been a contender.